Not one of those people. 12-step programs amused this capable woman. She was sure she didn't belong in Nicotine Anonymous until she couldn't stop and stay stopped. I am addicted to nicotine. In other words, I smoked. Not pot or hash, although I smoked those too. Just regular old tobacco, readily available at your corner store. And I could not stop. I didn't even know why I couldn't stop. God knows, I tried often enough. No words from family, friends, or physician could make me stop. Of course, I knew cigarettes were killing me. Of course, I knew I was developing early emphysema. Of course, I knew I annoyed others who did not smoke. Didn't I have the right to annoy whomever I chose, whenever I chose? Had I been drinking from early morning until late at night, the courts, or my family, would have had me hospitalized. They would have had me rehabilitated and would have generally tried to convince me that doing away with myself through substance abuse is a no-no in our society. However, we've come a long way, baby. Women now have an equal opportunity to succumb to a disease once exclusively male. I had decided I would smoke until something fatal caught up with me. I had been through a smoking cessation program. I had been through hypnosis. Although I did not like the smell or the taste of cigarettes, I must have liked something about them, or I would have done the sensible thing and quit. A friend of mine had quit smoking through a group called Nicotine Anonymous. I thought, that's pretty funny. An anonymous group for smokers? What next? In fact, I thought all anonymous groups were pretty strange. Oh, I knew there were some nice people in anonymous groups after all. Wasn't my friend Bill in one? And wasn't he a fine fellow? I asked Bill to take me to a meeting. I stopped smoking the day before that first meeting. Bill picked me up, and I sat through my first Nicotine Anonymous meeting. It was a small group, not more than 8 people. The meeting was okay, but I didn't feel any great urge never to smoke again. Forever and ever, amen. Several days later, Bill came to my house and we talked about the 12 steps. But I already knew about that stuff. Those were for alcoholics and druggies and all kinds of other people who had uncontrollable urges in lives. This had nothing to do with me. For God's sakes, they even have a Sexaholics Anonymous. I thought these programs were an unending source of joke material. I was not like them. I didn't come from a broken home. In fact, my mom and dad were quite fond of each other. I had never been molested as a child. My parents weren't alcoholic, and neither of them smoked. I didn't start smoking at 9 or 10. I was married, and I had a child when I had my first cigarette. My life wasn't unmanageable. On the contrary, I have a host of friends who will tell you how capable I am. I thought I probably could stop smoking if I really wanted to, and I really tried. I stopped once for 8 years, and I could do it again. Or could I? I continued going to the meetings, and I learned a great deal about my addiction. I did not smoke, but I really wasn't one of those people. After about 4 months of attending meetings in San Francisco, I moved to Southern California. I checked around. There were no meetings in San Diego. I kept receiving mail from my Nicotine Anonymous friends in San Francisco urging me to start meetings in San Diego, but I hadn't smoked in 5 months. I had quit. I didn't need meetings. I didn't need any dumb 12-step program. It wasn't long. About 5 weeks after the move, a golden opportunity presented itself for me to smoke again. I wasted no time in buying cigarettes. The first day I was smoking as though I had never stopped. Indeed, I was smoking as though I was trying to catch up from the 5-month fast. Catch up I did. I immediately developed an upper respiratory infection. My chest hurt. I was tired all the time. I gave up exercise. I gave up running. I gave up everything, in fact, but my cigarettes. Somewhere in the back of my head I remembered that I did not smoke when I attended meetings. I began, in panic, searching for a meeting. I even considered that I might have to start a meeting of my own. Then came a letter from a Nicotine Anonymous friend in San Francisco. Ron sent me a list of all the meetings in the U.S. He had circled the San Diego meeting in red, drawn some red arrows, and added a short note. It was a Tuesday meeting. I had my last cigarette on the Monday before that meeting. There are now 3 meetings in the San Diego area, and I try to attend them all. One of the meetings is a step study. I'm trying to understand how the steps work in one's life. I see others who have overcome addictions using the steps of anonymous programs. I have taken the first step towards the first step. Today I looked up the word addict in the dictionary. It said, quote, to devote or surrender oneself to something habitually or obsessively, unquote. That certainly describes me and my compulsive smoking. That means only one thing. I am one of them. Does this mean I must cope with a lifetime addiction to nicotine? I don't know. I am not at all certain right now the full scope of just what that means. But I do know that I will continue to attend meetings, continue to study the steps, try to stop thinking about myself, and work towards starting more meetings so that other social smokers can become informed about their addiction and have an opportunity to take advantage of the healing nature of Nicotine Anonymous.